Plastic is a hormone disruptor. So I stayed away from plastic bottles, plastic to-go containers. I bought all glass containers, to-go containers. Anything that I stored hot would go into something glass. Anything that was stored cold could be in plastic because it wasn't leaching, the plastic wasn't leaching into the food. Water bottles, nope. No plastic water bottles. Those squeegee, like the ones that are really crinkly, nope. So I got BPA-free bottles, and I was transporting my own water from home or using filtered water at my office into a BPA-free bottle or glass jar or anything like that. I became obsessed with that. And so let me give you a little bit of information. My AMH, which is one of the hormone levels that they test to predict what your fertility is looking like. Basically, when I started, mine was 0.76. I was 37 or 38, 0.76. Then the following year, I got it tested every year. The following year was 0.70. And then I got it tested in May. I turned 40 in June. So I got it tested in May, and I was gonna just do, if it was going lower, I was gonna actually save up for IVF or do donor embryos. I looked into that. I thought that it was a wonderful program. So I was gonna do donor embryos if it was any lower than 0.70, like if I was on a decline. After doing all this stuff that the book, suggested, and eating healthy and meditating and doing all the things, acupuncture, everything, I decided that I was going to do either donor embryos or donor eggs, something along those lines. So I got it tested, like I said, the month before I turned 40, and it was 1.4. I was ecstatic. 1.4, that's double. 0.70 the year before, 1.4. I was so excited. My doctor was shocked. Like, she was like, I just don't even know. Like, she was just shocked. She was shocked, especially because it wasn't like that was the first year that they were testing me, and then the second year, like maybe there was like something wrong that one year, whatever, I had been tested the year prior to that also. So like, there was like a definite decline happening, 0.76, 0.70, not a terrible one, but something was happening. So 1.4, oh my goodness. I mean, okay, so my AMH went up to 1.4. That was May. And then June is when I tried with my friend, and I got pregnant. And, at that point I was like, okay, I got pregnant. See what happens, because I had just had a chemical pregnancy 2 months prior. So I was like, and, once you've had a loss, it's like, you're just like on pins and needles. You're like, well, is this going to work? And you can't really enjoy your pregnancy because you're freaking out the entire time. Like, is this okay? Is this okay? Am I feeling this? I had a heart rate monitor, and I'm like checking the heart rate all the time and doing all the things. And it was a lot. Luckily, he's perfect. He is perfect. He's my little perfect baby. And he only costs $5. Yeah. I spent thousands of dollars. Beautiful baby boy. Cost $5. A bottle of Femera. That's all it took. So he really likes being, he likes to see the camera. You like to see the camera? Is that what's happening? Is that what's happening? You like to look? You like to see yourself? You like to see yourself? Yes, you do. Yeah, you're smiling. Okay, so, who's that? Who's that? Say hello. Hello, friends. So back to that. Okay, so now the statistics, okay? So I have this website, and it's linked below. But like I said, you have eggs when you're 40. You have eggs. It's not like you don't have any eggs. You have eggs. You have eggs until you're like 45, 50. It really depends on when you're going to go through menopause. But you have eggs. So the issue with having eggs is that you have eggs that are abnormal. When you are 25 years old, you have 25%. You have 25% of your eggs are abnormal. At 25 are abnormal. At 35, 45% of your eggs are abnormal. So 35 to 37 is what this says. 45% of your eggs are abnormal. At 38 to 40, 60% of your eggs are abnormal. So I believe a lot of people know 35 there's a decline, 38 there's a decline, 42 there's a decline. And this is pretty accurate. So 35, 45%, 38, 60%, 41 to 43, 80% of your eggs are abnormal. 20% are normal, guys. 20% of your eggs are normal. Normal egg. So, you're just looking for that golden egg. Don't give up. It's there. It's there. You just have to keep trying, you know? Maybe read It Starts with the Egg and follow some of the stuff in there. I mean, it's a great book. Lots of good information, and, you know, it worked for me. Yes, it did. Yes. So, I mean, you know, over 44, 80 to 90% of your eggs are abnormal. It's harder at that point. Definitely. You have like a 5% chance of getting pregnant. No. I know there's a lot of, and then here's another chart. Risk of genetically abnormal pregnancy by 45, 1 in 18% chance, or 1 in 18 chance of having a genetically abnormal pregnancy. By age, AMH levels by age. AMH means anti-Mullerian hormone. And AMH is a protein produced by special cells inside the ovarian follicles. The AMH in blood can help doctors estimate the number of follicles inside the ovary and therefore a woman's egg count. Typical AMH for a fertile woman is 1.4 to 4.0. Under 1.0 is considered low and indicative of a diminished ovarian reserve. So 25, 5.4 is normal. At 30, 3.5 is normal. At 35, 2.3 is normal. At 40, 1.3 is normal. So my 1.4 was pretty normal. My 0.70 was not normal at 38. At 39.70 was not normal. So for me to go from abnormal and having what was indicative of a diminished ovarian reserve to a normal level, or maybe even above that, because 1.4, 1.3, whatever, same thing, but makes a difference to me. That, you know, tells you something. And it also tells you that, you know, these doctors use these numbers and they're just like basing everything by them, and they're like, I'm sorry, like you have a diminished ovarian reserve, blah, blah, blah. If I can go from 0.70 to 1.4 in a year by changing some things around, so can you, you know? So I wouldn't take it as this is the end, this is it. Like, no, it's not. And as I tell a lot of my friends that are older and trying to get pregnant, you know, older as in over 35, over 40, I tell them just, you know, don't give up and don't listen to everything that the doctors say. You know, like they look at statistics, and they have these statistics, and they have all these, you know, patients, and they look at this large, you know, all these studies and these big, you know, studies and community of people that they're testing. And of course, you know, like you see this every day. That's how you're gonna, you know, take this information and you're gonna think that that's it and that's it. But the thing is that it's not like that. Not everybody has the same, you know, diminished ovarian reserve. The numbers aren't the same for every person, and it doesn't, and even though my numbers were the same as somebody else's numbers, it doesn't mean that the same exact thing is going to happen. I have a friend who had amazing numbers. Her numbers were so good. She's still trying to get pregnant. Like, and it took me a long time too, you know, but she has done IVF and has had, you know, miscarriages through IVF, which is terrible because you're spending all of this money, you know, and that last doctor that I picked, the one that got me pregnant, 2 of the 3 times I was pregnant, or 2 of the 4 times I was pregnant. I picked her because she said to me, I said, you know, what do you suggest? I've done this many IUIs. I'm this age. My hormone levels are this. What do you suggest? You good? You going down? No, you're going to stand? Oh, good. Okay. What do you suggest? And she said, listen, she said, you don't have any more of a chance of having a live baby through IVF than you do IUI. She's like, after you spend all that money for IUIs or IVF, you know, there's not more of a chance, you know, like it's a low chance either way, but you know, why spend the money? And I thought, why? You know, like I don't want to spend the money, you know, and she was willing to do more IUIs with me. Some doctors shut people off. They're like 3 IUIs and you go on to the next step, which is IVF, you know, and I, if it wasn't that I was single, You know, I probably would have tried the traditional way a little bit longer, but I, you know, was single, so I didn't have a choice. So at that point I was anyway. So I didn't have a choice. And I know, right? But I don't like that they say 3 and then you move on to the next thing. 3 and then this, 3 and then, I hate that. Like it just, that's not the case for everybody. I had a nurse when I was doing, I think my like 6th IUI, and she was like, she was like, I had my 6th IUI and that's when I got pregnant. And she was a nurse, you know, and these doctors are telling you 3 and that's it, you know? So like, don't give up, and don't follow exactly what they say. And if you don't like what they're saying, find a different RE. And do not go to an OB. Go to an RE, because an OB is great for keeping that pregnancy, that baby alive, and helping you throughout your pregnancy, but they're not going to get you pregnant. They're studying specific things in school. They're not all learning about nutrition. They're not all learning about, you know, fertility. It's not like a general course. These are specialized areas in medicine. So you're going to go to an OB once you're pregnant to sustain your pregnancy. Then, and before that, you're going to go to an RE to get you pregnant. Do not go to an OB when you need to go to an RE. That is like my number one recommendation. People are always, I see that a lot on Baby Center, that, you know, they're getting these medicines prescribed by their OBs, and their OBs aren't doing ultrasounds. What if you, I mean, like, you can get a cyst from these pills, these medicines. The medicines are making your body produce more follicles and ovulate more eggs than what your body is capable naturally of doing. You need to get an ultrasound to make sure that you don't have some kind of issue that's, you know, happening because you're ovulating extra eggs. What if you don't ovulate all these eggs and you end up with a cyst the next month? You know what I mean? And then you take more fertility drugs on top of that. That's just not, it's not good. So definitely go to an RE rather than an OB. And then once you're pregnant, go to an OB. There you go. Perfect, right? That's how we did it. All right, so I think that's pretty much it. Fertility in your 40s. You know, specific to me and my journey in my 40s to get pregnant with this guy. Thank you for pulling my hair. If you have any questions, if you want me to do any other specific fertility videos, if you're questioning you know, your partner's sperm count or anything like that, I can do research. I know a little bit about male sperm count stuff, not a lot, because I didn't really have to deal with that. I know more about the woman side of it. But if you have any questions, please post them below. I'll be happy to answer them. I'll be happy to, you know, go into more depth if you want to know more about ICIs, if you want to know what, you know, tricks, things you can do after an IUI. There's like the French fry thing and warm socks and all that stuff. You know, let me know. I can definitely do a video more specific if you want more information on the hormone levels and where they should be and all that stuff. Just let me know. You know, I can do that. And if you have any questions, again, post them below. If you like this video, please like it. If you want to hear more about being a mom in your 40s and everything that goes along with that, click the subscribe button. If you hit that little bell, it'll notify you of when I post the video. Usually I post videos on Saturdays. I try to on Saturdays. That's my goal. Hopefully I get there every week. But like I said, if you have any questions, that I can answer, and we'll talk further more about specific things about this guy, everything that, you know, what he likes, what he doesn't like. We're doing a combination of baby-led weaning and spoon feeding. Okay, we nursed exclusively for until he started eating solids, and then actually until we sleep trained him. I sleep trained him, and he stopped eating all night long because he was nursing all night long. So he stopped nursing all night long, and then my supply dropped a lot, and I had to supplement with formula, which is fine. No shame. My baby needs to eat. Doesn't matter if it comes from the breast or formula, as long as fed baby is best, right? So let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Thank you so much for visiting. Bye.